What's something about long-term sobriety that people get completely wrong? So the people I know that you hang out with are complete degenerates. They are gamblers, alcoholic, tobacco using degenerates.
I was on the floor freaking doing the Serenity Prayer. Like, how the hell did I get here?
Let's say somebody's sitting right here that's one day out of rehab, and you got Boz over there that's got 25 years sober. What do you think should be the difference in the two?
I don't know if I would have an expectation for either. What was harder, getting sober or staying sober?
All right, so we're going to change things up a little bit this morning. We have Chris number 1 and Chris number 2. We're going to let Chris number 1 kind of take over.
A far more attractive host this time.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Attractive and prepared. First off, we'll start with icebreakers based on attraction. There is nobody more attractive to my wife than this guy right here.
Really?
Her and her friends.
A lot of husbands probably say that. Tall drink of water is what I've heard on the streets.
That's all they want. All her friends.
Who's that tall drink of water?
You're tall. You're as tall as I am.
Yeah, but you have better hair.
My hair's white.
Silver fox.
Well,
I'd kill for that. Good hairline.
Have they seen
you have way better hair and longer hair than me. And you look like the guy on Superman, too.
Say what you want to say. He's skinny.
Yeah.
And skinny.
Have they seen him dance, though?
Other than
That's
that,
what really gets them. When they see Chris dance and they see them knees.
Yeah, I know. See, I feel like I'm a good dancer. My fiance feels like you dance like an old man. That's what she says. But she's a lot younger.
You're an assassin.
Yeah,
we
I
have
know.
some room here, maybe.
You're an assassin.
Thank you, bro. See?
I
I love this. Just keep, it makes me feel
You
good
don't
about
remember
myself.
being sober in the club?
Yeah, Chris, when you're going over all those things, like you checked off every box. Like you're
Yeah, you're
a
the
stallion.
guy.
You are a stallion. And you're a member at Sylvania Country Club. Don't
What are you
blush.
talking about?
Don't blush. You are a stallion. All right, get back to your show.
Yeah. So we have a guest today, Chris Bosinger. He's been a
One
friend.
S, not two. We've been friends for years. You still think my name has two S's.
It does. You're just spelling it wrong. Probably 7-8 years now. I don't know how long you've known him. Probably
Over 10.
over 10.
10. You've known me for over 20.
20.
That's over 10.
Oh, it's over 10?
Yeah, that is true.
Technically, this is a podcast about the recovery space. I want to kind of keep it there to start, and then we can get off topic about life and fun things. You said you were open to it, so I got some questions for the whole room. Just kind of an icebreaker, go around. Everybody can have a shot at this.
Can we introduce ourselves real quick? Look at Josh. He's dying to introduce himself.
Got a Santa suit on.
Before you answer this question, how about you introduce yourself?
No, I want to hear the questions.
Introduce yourself.
Well, listen, I'm the only one drinking this morning at 9 a.m.
I know, I saw that. I show up and there's a cigar sitting on a drink for a recovery podcast. It's just fucking paradox. Am I allowed to say fuck?
Oh, he said whatever he wanted.
Okay. Sorry.
What's something about long-term sobriety that people get completely wrong?
Sure, I'll jump on that one. For me right now is that it gets easier. I've had the worst week of my life, and my higher power this week has been my wife for sure, maybe 2 weeks, and me relaying everything to her. And if I didn't have the stability of my wife and kids, Emma made me this bracelet.
Boy, you really you couldn't wait to shout out for that bracelet.
Emma, I love you, baby. But my wife and kids were my higher power. I think that that's the fallacy, because there's people with 20 years that fall, and shit can happen at any single moment that tests your program. And the longer you've been in it, if you don't have a home group and the tools that you started in the beginning, you're less ready for a major catastrophic event, in my opinion.
I don't think it don't get easier. I think it gets easier. Like we know how to handle situations that used to baffle us, as they say.
I didn't know how to handle this one.
Yeah, well, it's that's a you thing. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, like life does get easier the longer you stay sober. You handle situations that you wouldn't handle the same way back then. Problems get bigger, it seems like real life problems. Like used to a problem like, where am I going to steal something? Like how am I going to come up with $30 today? Like that seemed like the biggest problem in the world. Like you couldn't think of a worse thing to go through. where am I going to get $35 today to get high? Today it's like, okay, my house payment's $3,000. Like, I've got to go to work today. Like, it's the problems are different.
What I'm trying to say is that you, at any point.
But at any point, yeah, it is that easy to go back to how am I going to come up with $35?
So for me, and I talked about this a little bit the other night at the meeting, is the hard part. I've been around for a while now, and the hard part for me is expectations are higher, and I hate expectations. I hate when people have feelings like, even coming on here, you got to be funny, you got to be, you got to be like, and that expectation can squash who I really am sometimes, right? Like, it takes away from the genuine, like, who I am genuinely. But like I fail, I still fail, and I fail in different ways, like he's talking about. It's like it's one of those deals where you're supposed to be more grown up. You're supposed to, like, in my head, I'm supposed to be almost perfect, and when I fail, I'm harder on myself. I let it linger more. I told someone the other day, I was on the floor freaking doing the Serenity Prayer. Like, how the hell did I get here? I'm 25 years sober. Like, what the hell? I'm supposed to be in such a different...
An elite level.
You're supposed to own the country.
On all levels, mental, spiritual, all these things.
I go to Westgate Men's.
Right. And so it's hard for me to accept, like, that's the reason I'm saying the Serenity Prayer. It's hard for me to accept where I'm at when I should be, I feel like, in such a better place. I'm on the golf course. I'm still pouting and acting like a little bitch when I miss a putt. You know what I mean? Like,
by the way, the putt's 30 feet.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Tour average make is 6%.
Yeah.
And he's so mad when it lips out.
Right. And so I place these unreasonable expectations on myself. And I'm not, the thing I've improved on is not placing it on others as much.
That's
it's
the
on
hard
myself.
part. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's where I struggle. It's like,
Does he do this when he nails it, though?
What is it you think? Like, if you got someone here right now...
Wait. You have a different thing for the golf course? Boom. Just a one-off?
little
the
tiger.
one-fister?
Little tiger.
So what do you think? So, like, let's say somebody's sitting right here that's one day out of rehab, and you got Boz over there that's got 25 years sober. What do you think should be the difference in the two?
Ooh.
I mean, just repeat the question.
So think about it. Like, pretty much the question you just asked.
Like, me, I'm 25 years sober, you know that. And then you know someone that just, like he said, just got out of, like,
detox yesterday.
Yeah, what would be your expectations for me compared to that person, right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I don't know if I would have an expectation for either. I mean, everybody's sobriety is probably different. And so I don't want to put an unreal expectation on you, just like you don't like
You probably have the same expectation for both.
But what surprises you about, you've known me now, we're close, we've been, you've seen me in all levels. What surprises you about me being sober? Because some people are like, dude, you're fucking sober? That's weird. You know what I mean? Like, people just don't.
So, wild coincidence, I'll answer that. The next question is going to be, if somebody followed you around for a week, what would they be surprised to see, knowing that you were in sobriety or in recovery? I'll answer that. I don't know your work friends a lot. I know some of them. Business
you know
contacts.
a bunch of them.
And I don't know very many of your recovery community friends, except for the guys in this room. So the people I know that you hang out with are complete fucking degenerates.
Hilarious.
We are gamblers, alcoholic, tobacco using degenerates. And I don't know how you can be in that situation and not be. I mean, why? If I was addicted to something, I'm not coming anywhere near it. Because I cannot.
You do go towards the flame. I'm not going to lie. You've always been like
No,
that.
I'm more
Like,
comfortable because I'm more comfortable around flame. I'm not comfortable around people that have it all together. I just had this conversation with someone the other day. I'm way more comfortable around people that are flawed, that are like, it's because when I'm around people that have it all together, I don't feel comfortable. Like, that's just not, I can't relate to them. I can't, like, people that, and when I sit there and it's just, when people are just doing them, like you said, degenerate, drinking, gambling, all that stuff, I feel right at home.
It's great. Secretly judging all of us is how you get through life.
I don't judge. I'm like that. I wonder, I'm like, man, if I never quit, where would I be at? I'd be dead.
Yeah, drugs are different
I'd be in
today.
prison. I mean, I'd be in prison for sure, or dead.
Yeah, drugs are different today.
A lot of people have told stories in here about before getting sober. Who were you before? I've heard like 1.5 stories.
About who I was before?
Yeah. who
No,
were
we
you
want
before?
a war story, motherfucker.
I mean, oh God, it's been a long time, dude. Here's the thing. Like, and part of the reason why I'm more comfortable now is I did get sober at 22, right? And I got sober in a household where my one roommate was dealing a lot of drugs out of the house, and my other roommate was a complete and absolute drunk. And it was like basically like a frat type house where people were in and out of my house all the time. Funny story, I will say, this is early on in sobriety. I was living down in BG, not going to school there because I'd failed again. And like my sponsor at the time, who was newly sponsored, was coming to pick me up to play golf. And I had a girl in my bed, who was, I'm sure on plenty of drugs and alcohol to be sleeping with me at the time. And I had a full house full of people that were like passed out, bongs everywhere, drugs on the table, like all this stuff. House is destroyed. And my sponsor, I don't answer the door, right? He's like coming down to pick me up for golf. And I don't answer the door. He opens the door, and there's, like I said, there's probably naked women on the floor. It's like old school up in there. And I get in the car, and he's like pounding on my door. I'm like, oh shit! And I get in the car, and he's like, dude, how do you stay sober living in this? And I'm like, what? I said to him, doesn't everyone? Like, I didn't know.
That was your reality.
Yeah, because that's what I thought. You know what I mean? You're
going to have to deal with this the rest of your life.
Yeah. So I was in outpatient treatment, and I thought, because this was my life. This was what I was used to. And I didn't go to inpatient. So it was like I was in outpatient. That's a funny story. I'm in there for 6 months. It's like a 2-month program. And I keep telling people I'm in there because I'm helping everyone else. Like, I'm telling everyone, like, and then
He's
finally,
the leader.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I've got a sponsor. I've got my shit together, all this stuff. And the reason they were keeping me in there because I was so full of shit and I was such a disaster still.
You were a BD rep before you ever knew it.
Right. And so, but my recognition and awareness was so little that it was bad. But as far as me when I was using and drinking, I mean, quick story, I'm out at a bar and so wasted, so fucked up that like I'm removed from this bar 3 times. And finally the cops tell me, hey dude, if you just walk home, we won't arrest you because I'm such a disaster in this place, right? And I'm walking, I probably took 15 steps down to Lexus. It used to be the Millennium, a bar over there, right? I probably took 15 steps down the road, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck these.
This.
Yeah, dude, I'm going back
me.
in. So then I get back in line, and I'm sitting there, and a cop grabs me by the arm, and he's like, dude, what did I tell you? And I'm like, what? And like totally, you know what I mean? And he's like, all of a sudden he puts me in cuffs. I'm like, this is harassment by the police. And he had pulled me out already 3 times, and he arrested me.
Profiling.
He profiled me for trespassing. Later that night, my friends talk him into, they arrested me, I got charged, all that stuff. Friends pick me up, take me home. As I get home, there's something happening on my block. The police are there again. They were always there, right? I get into a verbal argument with the police while I'm at home because I'm still so, drunk and stuff like that. I get into a fight with the police. I get arrested in Sylvania, taken down to the station. So I get arrested in 2 different cities on the same night. And this was like a normal night.
Tuesday.
Normal right. Tuesday. It probably was Tuesday.
Yeah.
So.
But it sounded like fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun until you wake up the next day and then you're like, you're in a puddle. Well, you're in a puddle of your own piss and you're like, what the hell? Like, how did I do this again? Like, and your parents, at that point I was still living at home because I couldn't afford to,
Also, assuming that a lot of using is fun, and I understand a lot of using isn't by choice, there are deeper issues, but assuming part of it was fun, what did you feel like you lost anything when you got sober? What part of yourself did you lose, or
Stamina for sure.
Yeah, there's a story to that too. Like So early on in sobriety, I was still hanging out with my old buddies. We were still doing the same thing. I was not going to commit to, but at that time there was way less young people. You know what I mean? Like, so it was a bunch of old fucking like crudgety guys. I'm like, I'm not. This isn't going to be my life. How am I ever going to get laid? How am I ever going to?
He's kind of pioneered the young people's, like Saturday Night Young People's, those things. Him and his people kind of.
Yeah. That came in the next years where, but I remember. I went to Cleveland for St. Patty's Day with a group of like 15 of my college friends, like girls, boys. And at that point, we were so poor, we just got one hotel room in Cleveland, right? And it was a normal thing. And we just were partying, hooking, the whole thing was happening. And it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was told by people in the rooms, they're like, dude, there's going to come a point where you're like, you can't keep doing this. You're not going to be comfortable. And I wasn't comfortable hanging out with AA people at all, but and I was still comfortable, I thought, hanging out with these people. And I remember I'm like, I just want to go to bed. And they were just getting started. No, they're blowing, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a normal night for them. And so I went and I laid down in the bathtub and I closed the thing. And, some weird shit was going on in there, obviously. They didn't even know I was in there. So, like there was, all kinds of stuff. But I remember the first feeling I've ever had, like, I don't belong
in either spot. So we actually have video of that night if you want to. Go ahead, scroll it.
No, it was bad. It was like a weird emotional moment where I was like, this sucks, man. I'm 22.
No tribe. I don't belong either place.
Right.
I'm in a tub.
That would be hard to get sober at 22.
Yeah. But you know what? It ended up being easier because I just grew up. I was a child, obviously, at 22. Yeah. I mean, I'm still a child right now, but,
What was harder, getting sober or staying sober? 25 years is a long time.
Actually, when you guys talk about smoking, because I miss smoking like crazy. I mean, it's hard. Quitting smoking was harder for me than quitting drinking and drugs. It was so hard. That's why I'm so scared to have a cigar, because I know that it'll lead me.
Phenomenon of craving kick
Dude,
off.
I hated cigarettes. This is my personality. I hated cigarettes. I was like, 16. I hadn't even smoked a cigarette. I was 16 years old. No smoking, right? And I was like, I will never smoke a cigarette, right? And I started smoking cigars, love cigars, and someone handed me, and my buddy Meyer handed me a cigarette. He's like, here, try this. This is good too. And I'm like, no. And he's like, just try it. This is not an exaggeration. Within a week, I had 3 packs of Marlboro Reds I was smoking a day.
Full-blown addiction.
That's it. Like, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm known to hyperbole and stuff. That is not. I was not leaving my porch nonstop smoking Reds, and that's how I smoked for the next 6, 7 years, or 8, whatever it was. And so it was really hard for me to quit smoking, dude. And drugs and alcohol, I didn't have any plan on staying. I was broke. And I was wanted by the police, and I had all these charges, and I had written all these bad checks all over the city. I had done and I had run up credit cards that weren't mine. I had done a lot of stuff, but I couldn't pay my rent, and I couldn't live anymore, and my parents cut me off. And so therefore, I'm like, if I just tell them I'll quit, then they'll, and I did. But I had no intention of staying quit. I just wanted to get some money and then get back at it. You know what I mean? And I just ended up staying. So
that night was probably like a real important night for you, where you didn't feel like you belonged on either side.
Yeah.
That was probably a real important night in your life.
I remember it. Like, I don't remember a lot of shit. Like, my memory but I definitely remember that.
What still messes with you today that sobriety didn't fix?
I'm still as obsessive and compulsive as I was back then.
Yeah,
and I feel like it moves from one thing to the next. Like, right now I'm not gambling, so it's
Same.
like,
I just quit.
Yeah.
You just quit? I thought.
Well, I'm saying like a few months ago.
Oh God, I'm 4 days off. So like, you're doing great.
In the heart of March Madness, you're like, I'm
He's
done.
He's gonna Venmo me $5 later and say, hey, put this on
on
a foursome.
Yeah. Like, I've deleted.
I need Kepka at plus 1,300 this weekend.
Right.
First round winner.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have deleted DraftKings, and I've deleted FanDuel, and this is not an exaggeration either, probably 400 times and reloaded. No, not
You got to
kidding,
ban
400
yourself.
times.
Why don't you just ban yourself?
Nothing made me angrier than I set a $100 limit for a week, and so that's why I had to get FanDuel, because I couldn't get it off. I didn't know how to get it off. I had a moment of clarity. I'm like, dude, and then I found out you can't get it off. Like,
No,
you have to wait a certain amount of time. I was so angry. Anyways,
So if you set a limit, it's like 2 months or.
Oh yeah, it was like 6 months. I couldn't change the thing, and I couldn't wait till that day in February where I could move it, which is funny because I'm just gambling on the same stuff on another site. But I was so
hype,
so mad that I was
there was no
restricted.
restriction.
Yeah.
So I got a friend that he's a degenerate gambler. I won't say his name, but he's got another friend that banned himself from FanDuel.
Yeah.
And they didn't ban him, and he continued to bet, even though he hit banned me. He continued to bet up to like $30,000.
Yeah.
They sent him a check. They banned him like 6 months later and sent him a check for $30,000.
What?
Because they didn't ban him, and they figured out that they didn't ban him 6 months prior, and then they sent him a check for every dollar that he spent.
I see your head spinning. Like,
Well,
do I
that's
get
not a
money?
bad idea. Like, if I try and if for some reason it didn't work,
Bet the farm.
just bet the farm, dude.
If it
and be
hits, you
like-
hit. If it misses,
Right.
they're sending it back.
And I'll have this video evidence. Like, listen, I have video evidence of that happening.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So clearly gambling became a problem for you. Otherwise, why stop?
Yeah, you know what's funny is it's the gambling. Like, I've never had the golf gambling has never gotten out of control. It's always been a
You
steady.
fucking win every time.
No,
What are you talking
no,
about?
I lose sometimes, but it's
Occasionally, but come on.
it's things that I can control. I actually.
It's you.
Yeah, I'm
if
not
you
as
lose,
bad.
it's because you played
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Like,
sense.
it's the online gambling stuff I can't control that I struggle with. You know what I mean? That I get out of control with because I try so hard to control it that it gets out of that it becomes like I'll have a guy that's about to win a golf tournament, and I'm about to make a good $700, $800, $900 or whatever on like a $10 bet, but I will hedge myself so hard. Like on the other guys, just in case something would happen, that all of a sudden I look and I'm like, holy shit, I ended up losing money because I hedged so hard that I ended up losing money. But that's like my obsessive mind, like trying to control what's happening on a golf course thousands of miles away from me.
Somebody that doesn't even know you.
And then I'll tell the stories to people I'm like, do you know what happened? They don't give a shit. Nobody ever cares about your gambling stories either. Like,
So they say
They're fish stories.
So
It's like the fish I caught was this big.
The studies say that it's like you're not chasing the win. You're chasing the loss. So if you would have won, let's say you bet it all on Brooks, you won $900. You're not satisfied because you will take that $900 and put it back.
Gone.
You are satisfied. Your brain is satisfied when you've lost it all. That's 100%. When you're done.
100%.
So you're chasing the loss.
100%.
That's why.
That's why
we have to be real careful with anything like that because we're not chasing the W.
Never.
We're chasing the L.
100%.
We want those emotions.
And because that feeling of losing is so much stronger than the feeling of winning. When you win, it's like, people are, aren't you happy? I'm like, well, I could have done,
Rarely do you win because if you're at a casino and you win, you're not leaving.
Never.
You're up.
Never.
I'm on house money.
In fact, I don't. I was in Minnesota at 20. I was not sober yet, and I was drunk. And I'm at an Indian casino where I was removed from because of my behavior. But I was driving a Saturn at the time, which I had driven me and two of my friends from Toledo in this Saturn to Minneapolis, and I threw my Saturn on the table
This
and
is
said,
actually the story I know. This
Yeah.
is the 1.5 stories I know.
yeah, what will you give me if I got a nice Saturn out there that is probably worth $1,000. Like, what will you give me for this Saturn? Because I need some money right now to keep going. And this started at like $5
To get my get back.
Yeah. Like, and the only reason it didn't happen was because someone at the table was about to give me like $200 for it, and it was because my buddies showed up and grabbed the keys from me and grabbed them and said, no, we're not selling this. We need this shit to get back
Gotta get the Saturn
to
back
Toledo. But it was, that's just how my mind worked and has always worked.
as we sit in a cigar store, the irony is not lost on me, but 87, this is a fact, this isn't a hyperbole made up, 87% of people in recovery use some form of nicotine.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I got three forms sitting beside me.
Yeah.
And no one's going to dispute that. That's just laying the predicate.
I don't because again, dude, I know me. It's either all or nothing.
Right.
And there's no in between.
That's just to lay the predicate. I want to get at the lesser of two evils argument that me as not a quitter kind of equates to what I know about sobriety. But what's an addiction that you have now instead of
Drugs and alcohol.
Golf.
Oh, I mean, golf.
Golf is probably
Fuck golf.
nicotine for the other 40%.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard to explain it, but there's
Yeah.
that emotional roller coaster just like it is with gambling.
What's bad though? What's bad that you do?
Golf. What do you mean?
No, golf is it's exercise. It's something bad.
Well, I mean, I told you gambling with me, and it was women, and it was that lifestyle for a while. And this is where.
long while.
Yeah, a long while. I mean, no, a long while. Bailey's the first girl that I haven't stepped out. I've been
So
committed
proud of my
to.
dude.
I am
my
3
son.
years almost now of living
I remember.
a life now of not. Because yeah, dude, if I'm not gambling and I'm not drinking and I'm not using, I'm not doing. There's something I'm doing, and women have filled that hole.
For a long time. For me, it's spending. Like, I have 300 pairs of shoes, over 300 pairs of shoes. I have every Marvel action figure from 1980 to 2005. And I'll go on bad spurts of like collecting, but then the thing is that it's not satisfying. Once I got one pair of every Jordan model, 1 through 36, then I was like, well, now I need 2 pairs of every model, and then I got the 3, and I'm like, this is stupid. I bought gold chains that you could sell and buy a quadplex for. Just stuff like that for me. That's stupid when I'm just sitting around playing. Like I've spent.
You want to work on that? Move to Gibsonburg.
Yeah.
That's shopping.
Well, it won't help this one. I spent $23,000 on an online game.
How much did you just say?
I've spent over $20,000 on the Metasphere, this game within the Metasphere.
It's not even real. He thinks he's the president of this
I am
meta
of my
land.
state. Yeah. So, but there
It's online.
there is value there in the Metasphere.
What's the value?
Well, you can like rent your property.
To
It's
who?
just like to the other people in the Metasphere.
With meta
How much
money.
have you made?
Well, I'm not looking to make money.
So
it's
what-
like just shoes. I'm just want the shoes. You know what I mean? But if
Right,
I wanted,
So he's like a slumlord online, like The Sims. You remember the game The Sims? He's like the Sims slumlord.
The real value is you're not using.
for sure.
That's the real value. Who
For
cares
sure.
if it's $20,000 to stay sober?
Jessica, that was more like 2,000.
If that's what you need, that's what you need.
land in
It's the
Vegas.
lesser of two evils conversation.
We land in Vegas. This guy will talk to anybody,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
So this other guy comes up to us and he's like, hey, I'm down here at this shoe show. You think he was like,
He had a consortium account. He owned like 10
you
stores.
think he would lock in?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here at a shoe show. I have 70 suitcases. I'm trying to get a rental car, blah, blah, blah. He's over. He's like, I'm like, you listen to this, Josh? This guy's like, here. He wants us to go. He's going to give us tickets to this show. Josh is like, hang on. He's on the meta game. Like, renting his properties out. That's how involved.
Why don't you
guys-
invite me to Vegas? I love Vegas.
I'd love to go. That'd be fun. Us 4 in Vegas?
I've never
That
gone
would
to
be a
Vegas
show.
to sober people in my life.
I've always
You
went
you
to-
want to see my trips to Vegas?
Dude, you-
They're not much different. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. They're not much different.
Dude, I am telling you, we're at pool parties and I'm dancing, sweating like after 5-6 straight hours at a pool party with David Guetta spinning or something, and people are coming up, they're like, hey dude, can I get whatever you're on? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they go, whatever drug you're on right now, you're smiling, you're dancing, you're happy, you're sweating, you're
That's
living
me.
life. Yeah.
I'm like that. I've seen karaoke.
I love it, dude.
Dan
I don't care.
would fucking shit.
I'll stand in the circle
Mikołajczyk.
at the at Fremont Street, and I'll dance, and I'll like hold my hand
I
out,
got
trying to
that
get
video.
trying to get a donut or
You know the
people to give me
square?
money.
So when we went down there, it was like 70-mile-per-hour winds when they were golfing. The ball would land and literally blow off the green.
I had a 140-yard par 3 playing like 208.
So on Fremont Street, it used to be a free-for-all. You could show
Yeah,
titties. Now
yeah,
they
yeah.
have the circles, and the locals have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
stand.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he
Since they
stood
redid
there.
it.
It was dead, though, so he got in one of the circles and was doing
Did you
his
get
thing.
any money?
No.
He didn't do it for
Hilarious.
long.
There weren't very many people there.
Yeah.
I wasn't the Sphere, coolest thing I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, I haven't been to it. What'd you go see there?
Wizard of Oz.
Oh, wow, that's sweet.
Sober.
Yeah,
sober. Oh, I couldn't. I don't even do psychedelics, but I would do psychedelics.
There are moments, like I went and saw that new movie, the Ryan Gosling, Hail Mary. It's good. It's about space and stuff, and he's like seeing these other planets. And I said to Bailey, I said, God, this would be crazy on drugs. Like you put LSD in your system, you put like, you know what I mean? There are moments where I'm like, and I don't want to be high.
Have you ever done it high, man?
Right, exactly.
So, have you ever caught yourself judging somebody else's sobriety?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
of course, dude. I judge people's sobriety more than I judge people's drinking and using.
Yeah, I was at a meeting one time, and this guy, I knew this guy. Like, he was a piece of shit. Yeah. And, but when he would share, bro, I'm talking, he would
Sounded so good.
He would spit fire.
Yeah.
And which I'm sure you've seen these people too. And my sponsor's like, just close your eyes and listen. Just pretend you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Because what he says has got some power behind
Right.
it. But you're like, bro, I know.
Right.
When you just left to go to the bathroom, I seen who went to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I know. You go to dude. So when I used to work in treatment, we would go to meetings, and they were like, inner city meetings. So it was some real stuff being talked about, like some real
fire.
But there'd be moments where certain people, I'm like, this guy, and then dude next to me would be like, that guy right there is dealing crack outside to people, and he's running a bunch of prostitutes. You know what I mean? And I'm like, he's a pimp? He's like, oh, straight up pimp, dealing crack. You know what I mean? Like, so he's speaking out of one side of his mouth, and he's great at doing that, but he's also living a total different life.
Well, on that same note, if someone close to you relapsed, how do you balance compassion while still holding them accountable?
Oof, that is tough.
my compassion comes off as being
A dick.
a dick sometimes. But like, I don't sugarcoat shit. Like it, it's like
But your version of sobriety may be different than somebody else's version of sobriety. So how do you still call them a friend? And
I give a
be
lot
an
of
asshole?
chances. Like I give a lot of chances.
A lot?
No, I'm talking like as part of my friend. Like if you're my
Yeah.
friend, like I'm gonna, there's a lot of people that we have in our program right now that I have been. We'll bring a couple of them on here sometime.
Yeah.
That I've been through the ringer with, like trying to get them to
Yeah.
stay on track. So I give a lot of chances. But like, I look at it as like you're doing what drug addicts and alcoholics do. You relapse.
Yeah.
But when I've let you into this circle, like I don't let a lot of people in recovery in my circle. I learned this from Juan. I don't want to tell you I love you, that you're my friend, when in 6 months you could be dead because you don't know how to act right.
Yeah.
When I let you into that circle and then you do something like that, it hurts me more than just like, hey man, I got high. All right, let's get you back on track.
Yeah.
Because like now you are able to affect my emotions. Not very many people can do that. Like there's only a handful of people that can affect my emotions.
Here's a struggle with me, and it comes down to some of that, but people in sobriety that have true spirituality, have sobriety, have one thing or two things in common. They have humility and they have gratitude.
Oh yeah.
And a hard part about people in life is most people suffer. And that's where I struggle with like expectations of people outside of the program, including I put unreasonable expectations on my fiance, I put on my kids. Like, do you know how good you have it? Like, it's not my job to tell people how good they have it. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not going to, by me saying that to them, they're not going to be like, you know what, you're right. Things are
I don't
phenomenal.
know. Sometimes I hear that and I'm like, you know what?
Because you're in sobriety and you have that and you know the difference. Like when you've gone where we have, I mean, I was low as shit. Like, and you guys were probably even lower because you went on a little longer than me. And I would have gone lower, right?
You saw me.
Right, and I saw you. So the point though is, like, it's hard for me to see people outside of the program and they not get the gratitude and the humility. Like, I'm so much more willing. People are like, dude, why are you so open and honest and like about yourself and all that stuff? And I'm like, I have to be. And I can relate to people that are very open and honest about their faults. Like that, if just like I said earlier, like when people feel like they have the people that are perfect and have it all together and never make a mistake, those are the people I have a hard time relating to, right? So when someone relapses, I also though have that attitude like, hey, and I have the attitude like, hey, you gotta fucking pick yourself up by your bootstraps. You gotta make different decisions this time. You have to, or you're gonna die. But the beauty is now, I'm able to like say, if you want help, I just had this conversation with a guy on the phone the other day. He was talking about how he was struggling, wanted to go to rehab, all this stuff. I said, all right, let's get it done. I was gonna call you, get him in rehab right away. Well, I need to do it next week because I have some stuff going on. I said, wait, dude, you just called me and you were so desperate earlier on in this conversation, but the minute I brought up a solution and brought up like you actually making a decision to change your life, you had a reason why you can't.
He wanted what you have without doing what you did.
Yeah.
He wanted what you have without doing what you did.
But listen, I suffer from that too. I'm around, you're at a country club, I'm on the lower level of income and money at my club. I have to sit and look at people that have a lot more freaking money than me, right?
Yeah.
So for me, what I want to do is golf and mess around and live my life and have what they have.
Yeah, but you gotta work for it.
But I have to work for it. You know what I mean? So I still suffer from that feeling of I want to do the least amount possible and get everything I can. So I get that mentality.
Yeah.
But when your life's on the line,
Yeah.
you got to make decisions, dude.
We got about 10 minutes left. I got 2 or 3 questions that everyone should respond to. Best order would be, I don't know, this is probably easy for you. We've already talked about it briefly. One thing you still avoid.
I have found, so I had a buddy of mine, one of my closest friends that I used to blow a lot of coke with, and he was my coke buddy. You know, we all have a coke buddy, and he was in town, and he came over, and we had a couple friends over, and this is when I was still single, he brought up girls back, we're hanging out, and they went out in the kitchen, and there was some lines on the thing, and that's kind of where I get uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I watch people get high all the time. I watch people drink. But when you start busting out lines and you start like eat pills, you can just take, and it's like, oh, they took a pill, and I'm a little jealous. Like, you just got to take that pill and get to feel a lot better, real fast.
The knee pain's gone in about 5 minutes.
But the process of watching someone blow cocaine or something or certain things like that, that makes me, I struggle with that. That's what
I don't think I would. I don't think I could put myself around it. I loved cocaine.
Yeah.
Like when I share my lead, like, I loved my parents, I loved my family, I loved, people in my life, but there is no feeling like that first time I'd done cocaine.
I feel the process too, and like the lifestyle itself. After I got out of the lifestyle, I realized how addicted I was to the madness. How am I gonna come up with $35? Who am I gonna rob? But for me, what I try to avoid is I was the biggest shitbag piece of shit, looking at girls' asses, talking shit. So for a period of my life,
Not anymore.
That's true.
No.
You've been free. You've been free
a year
to
of
that.
my life, I designed my own mental program because I did not want to hurt my wife anymore. And that was like, of all the things you could do wrong, I knew she viewed that as the worst possible thing. So I dedicated my life to that. It was super awkward, But then after that year, it was just second nature to do it. And occasionally I've shared with Matt and a few other people, there has been 1 or 2 situations in 10 years where I was tempted and it was very awkward, and I literally just ran away from the person and got my car and drove away and called somebody and talked about it. But the perception and idea of cheating for me is just terrible, and seeing people go through it, and I'm so proud of my guy right here.
Good.
Yeah, that's
Cocaine sounds awesome, by the way. I'll sit here.
You've never done it?
No, I've sit here. No. Well.
Don't tell him not to. If he's not one of us, he should try it.
No. I'm one of you.
No, but he has an addictive personality. He's just not an
of-
addict or an alcoholic. He has an
I'm
addictive
one of
personality.
you. I 100% am one of you who just hasn't made as many mistakes. If I sit here at the end of an 80, 90-hour work week. I'm here at 5:30 a.m. I go home at 6 o'clock at night. And I still have 20 hours of work in my head to do, and I sit there and go, man, fucking cocaine sounds awesome.
Yeah, you could have got that extra 6 hours in.
And I'm 7 coffees in and 2 Cuban coffees. And
Oh, you're doing it then. You're doing cocaine pretty much.
I've been around you all the time drinking, though, Chris, all the time. And I can't even think of a time where you were like an out-of-control drunk.
no, because that's my superpower.
Yeah, I know, but the point is that the difference between an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic is what, not only the obsession when you're not drinking, the obsession of having to feel that way, but it's also what happens to you when you put it in your system. I'm sure they're the same way. Like, rarely did I have a drink and just was able to sit here and have a nice cocktail. I was getting hammered. Didn't care. You care about the taste and all that shit. I'm like, I didn't care about the taste. I just wanted to get drunk, dude.
Well, maybe alcohol's not my trigger, but cocaine might be.
No,
So in my mind,
I agree. I'm saying you do drink a lot and you do love your cigars, you love your stuff, but I haven't seen it be a problem. The difference between you and us, it's a problem.
If we drank that right there,
yeah,
like-
it'd be off to the race. Right.
we're taking that scooter that you talked about riding to the country club and pawning it.
We're going to Vegas.
Yeah, we're not going to the country club.
Now that I have some money, everyone says the same thing. What would you do? I'd be in Vegas. And I'm like, immediately, let's get on a plane. We're going to Vegas. It would be over. It'd be over. Like, I don't have any stop. There's no stop, dude.
luckily for me on the alcohol front is, I guess I would call myself a vomiter. If I get to that level, I'm throwing up, and I fucking hate throwing up.
Well, it sounds like you're a pussy.
So I'm a giant pussy, and I titrate. I will drink a whole bottle of rum sitting on the pier, but I started at 8 a.m. and I'm going to finish at 8 p.m. and I'm going to titrate, and I'm just right on that edge. I know where my edge is.
See, I couldn't get there. Like if I'm like trying to like stay there, I'm either going to sleep or I'm going to jail. Like I either need to go lay down because like it just makes me tired, or I'm acting out.
You have to have God there, dude. And that's why I try to tell people, you know, we all have that internal dialogue and that voice in our head. If God's not there to stop the monster in us, we're fucked. And so it has to constantly, whether you want to call it, recovery is God to me, right? So it's like I have to have that nonstop
We
dialogue.
had a conversation yesterday about like at some point, you know, we have to realize that, you know, we can't do this. Like there's no human power that can make me stop. Mm-hmm. And you have to reach out to God. And sometimes when we do relapse, the reason it gets so bad is because like we have turned our life over to the God of your understanding and pled for help. Like if you please just help me get through this. And then when we relapse, it's like, all right, bam,
Yep.
straight to the bottom.
You said something great there, though. God of your understanding.
Yeah, so in the rooms, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to believe in God. He fucking killed my mom, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah. So, you know, it's hard to...
It's just a belief system? Is
Just,
God
you
just
got
a
to
code
believe
word
that
for a
something's
belief
out there.
system?
Just
Okay.
something's out there that can help you.
Originally, it was a Christian. Jesus was the.
Oh, I understand, but like...
And they took that out because
we can have a whole episode on...
There's some 12-step programs that'll tell you to pray to a doorknob.
Yeah.
Those people probably aren't sober.
What were you gonna say? 'Cause-
I was just going to say that we have a whole episode on comparative religions. Like, I can sit here and talk to you I've actually studied a lot of it. 4 of the major religions are the exact same fucking thing.
Right.
Same story.
It's a
Different
financial
teachings.
basis.
yeah.
A different financial
War.
basis.
Sure,
Oh, there is
100%.
commonality.
But like you guys put everything on God, your success.
And to me, it's more like, believe me, I believe in God. I'm a Christian. I do have that part of me, but
I thought you were Catholic.
So I don't really go to Catholic. I haven't been a Catholic. No, I'm a Christian. I go to non-denominational. But anyways, the point is, like, I have, for me, it's a spiritual, like, it's a force, it's an energy. Like it is, and whatever energy that I'm putting out, and whatever, like the things call it karma, call it whatever you want. I put out good into the world, and I treat people the right way, and I do the right things. Good things around me happen, and the way I see the world is so much different. Like someone cutting me off, hey, they're in a hurry. Someone cutting me off when I'm struggling, dude. I want to kill him. That motherfucker knows he's trying to
home.
Dude, he's trying to piss me off. That dude is trying right now to piss me off, and so. I know exactly where I am, and God is in the middle. When God's in the middle of that, I'm excusing that, and I'm patient, and I'm tolerant, and I'm loving, and there's that feeling that I have. When it's not, dude, I'm angry, and when I'm throwing clubs and I'm ready to break things, God's not involved there.
And you'll hear people say it like, I'm not spiritually fit right now. Like, I'm in spiritual warfare. But as soon as you're like, I got to get back on track, those things gone. Who cares who cut you off? That's Sam's Club. It's the worst for me. Like, you cut me off at the gas pump at Sam's Club, spirituality's out the window.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is these certain things, like I try to talk to Bailey, my fiance, about, and I'm like, this pissed me off. She's like, maybe they're just this, and I'm like, nope, that's not helping. That is not helping. Well, maybe somebody's sick, and I'm like, no, that person's trying to piss me off. They're being a dick. That person's a dick. You know what I mean? Like I see the world so differently.
Someone listening right now is struggling, maybe quietly. What would you want them to hear?
Take it first.
Listen to the last 47 minutes of this podcast. Like, we've had a good time. Sobriety doesn't suck. It's hard. It's hard to stay sober. It's hard to get sober. But so is finding $35. So is finding a vein. So is, what lie you're about to tell. Just pick your hard.
For me, that it is possible. It is possible, and that there is hope out there.
And you can live a successful life.
For sure. And,
not perfect, though.
And I would say be careful what you wish for, though, because like he said before, more money, more problems becomes a reality. And like my first year sober, getting a 2015 Dodge Dart, which I still have with the system, and pulling up the main line to recovery with 100 people, I was so happy then. And I have bigger problems now. And I'm not that I don't appreciate and enjoy what I have, but I remember just like that's the happiest that I've ever been, is just helping people and fucking.
Biggest problem you have is they cancel the meeting without telling you.
Yeah. Like, there's no coffee.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So, listen, as hopeless and as helpless as that person feels, we've all felt that way. And the truth is, like, it's something that they can do it, because I have felt
That's
completely constitutionally. I've felt incapable of quitting gambling. I felt incapable of quitting porn. I felt incapable of quitting so many different things. Like, I could not do it. And then I was relieved of the accession. And the whole God part is going to seem so outrageous. But the truth is, dude, we're like, there's people out here. We're all struggling. But it is possible, dude. It's not something. It seems so impossible, but not if you can do it one day at a time. And I know that sounds so redundant and stupid, but
it's true.
you can do anything one day at a time. Like and it's possible, and it's not in all those things that they like. Because I swore, I said this the other night, that I was just somebody that was going to die young. I was somebody that was going to fail. I was somebody that was going to, like, I was not meant. Some people are meant to be degenerates, bad lessons, like a good bad lesson. That's who I thought I was, because I was not going to live. And look at me now, 2 amazing kids. I have a life. I'm sitting here. I mean, I have a life way better than I could have ever expected. And it's only because I decided not to drink that day and drug that day.
One day.
One day.
Who plays golf
and now,
all day?
and now I'm 25 years later. Is my life perfect? It still sucks some days. It's still really hard. but it's
But the level of suck is way different.
way different. I mean, it's the gifts I've been given and how much I would have missed. That's the big thing, is how much you realize you would have missed if I wouldn't have fucking got sober.
In deep moments too, like death and stuff like that, that for me, that's where it really hits, where I can be the instrument of peace or hope for a family member, where when I was using, I would have been trying to steal somebody's wallet.
Yeah, be like, I'm gonna go over and go through their house before everybody goes in there.
Yeah.
Let me go first. So
Yeah,
you guys
right.
That's when it really
Yeah,
hits
yeah.
me, though, is when it's something catastrophic. And, like, there's something about the program and the 12 steps that makes you uniquely fit. Like you said, handle situations used to baffle us. And I'm not always spiritually fit to do that. But when I am in the pocket and something crazy happens and I'm the guy that can get everybody to be okay, that's when it kind of hits me.
So let me tell one quick story before we end this. So Josh, the crazy thing about Josh is, first off, Josh was such a good person to me, and so I met Josh in like when he was in treatment. I would think I was counseling or doing something.
Compass.
I wasn't even a counselor. I was just like a person that
He was in there. You thought he was a counselor. He was 9 days sober.
But I was working there monitoring or whatever. But anyways, and Josh was always someone I gravitated towards because he just has a gravitational pull towards him, and I love him, and we were close. And I think I sponsored you for a little bit. Yeah, I sponsored him for a little, and he was there for me during I lost my grandmother. That was my last grandparent. I had a bad moment. He was there for me. I'll never forget that. But anyways, and then all of a sudden he was gone, and he went to prison, right?
Yep.
He went to prison. And I thought he was just somebody, but in sobriety, you meet thousands of people that you'll never see again. It's really weird.
It's wild.
Like, and you get close, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. You know what I mean? It happens all the time. Josh, a decade later, I'm working at Louisville Title, and I'm looking on our order sheet.
It's Louisville Title.
Louisville Title, yeah. And I'm looking on our order sheet, and where people are buying and selling properties, and I see that name, and it was the weirdest thing. I got this weird I'm like, Josh Elkert, what the hell? And this is a decade or more, probably more, like 15 years later, dude. And I'm like, and then I asked somebody in our industry, like, hey, who's this Josh guy? And they're like, yeah, he's kind of a crazy dude. He buys and sells. And then I look him up online, and I see all this stuff, and I'm like, this can't be the same fucking guy. This guy was going to prison. He's a piece, you know what I mean? Like, he was a piece of work. He was like, I loved him, but he was never going to be a guy to own all these businesses, be successful, all these things, especially, you know, because he was supposed to go to prison and be done. I'm never going to see him again. Come to find out, he's a huge part of my partner in life, like not partner, like that kind of partner. I would take you. You'd be a great partner. But like, you know, like I'm so proud. And it's just, the point is, God and life surprises you beyond any means, you know what I mean? And now I'm like, holy shit, look where he's come. If you would have known this guy, you know, he was too fly for a white guy. Like before, he was, I mean, still, yeah, Malibu's most wanted. That's who he was, and it's just incredible. Now he's wearing his daughter's.
Out one small part though. So I was maybe like 8 months sober, and I saw him at Speedway gas station, and he didn't have his black CRV anymore, and he had like a nicer car and a suit on. And I went up to him, and I was like, "What's up, dude?" And he probably didn't think I was sober because, you know, I was doing lawn care and probably looked very similar. And he was like telling me that he got the job at Louisville Title.
Yeah.
And
say it like you have a roll of quarters in your mouth. Louisville.
And I think what he thought, I was gonna hit him up for $10 because he was trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the story plays.
Well, I find it interesting because they may know more than you know, but this is kind of my background. Like, I have psychology degrees, I have anthropology degrees.
I didn't know that.
The human condition is.
So you're in there getting CEUs. We don't even know it.
Hilarious.
The human condition is interesting and wild, and the dichotomy of all the things that you guys do have so many contradictions into my logical thinking brain, the way I logically see things, and it's fascinating, and I don't ever want to offend anybody in the room by like trying to poke holes in your belief systems and being the devil's advocate, but like there are, to the outside looking in, holes, and it's just interesting to see how you guys answer and fill them.
You should poke holes, especially during this time.
The cornerstone of at least Catholicism, maybe not Christianity or non-denominational, is you're supposed to question. If you're not questioning,
we can't afford to question.
You're fucking doing it wrong.
Yeah, we can't.
100%.
We can't afford to look at it and be like, what if it's not real?
Yeah.
Because if we take that wheel back into our hands, it's over.
Done.
You can't have faith without questioning. If you don't question something, you don't have faith in it.
I
But when
questioned
you've seen,
up until I didn't question. For me personally, like I've played all those scenarios, looked at the religion.
It's not worth it to us to wonder.
Yeah, sure.
Because we know that something greater than ourselves pulled us from that pit, whatever it may be. If there's holes, if there's leaks, if there's stars shining through, whatever, I'm not questioning it.
So the other day I was sharing about, I was in church the other day and the pastor was talking about how everybody prays for miracles, right? But they almost never come true. And he kept going on, and I'm like, he has no idea. And I'm sitting in a room the other day, and I'm just looking out. I was on the stage at Westgate Men's, and I'm looking out, and there's 60 people in there, and half of them used to be bums on a fucking street. And I'm like, and now they're productive members of society. They're some of the best people you'll ever meet in your life. Some of the most open, generous. Like we were so not generous. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, I'll take whatever I can. And like these people are like, man, you're a really generous person. I'm like, I have to be. Like, but the point being, like, if you've seen the miracles we see every day, you know what I mean? Because you don't see it. Like you all of a sudden, and so we see these miracles of people's lives completely changing. If you would have told me that I would have 2 kids and a house and all this thing, I mean, people would have been like, there's no way on God's green earth that I'd be healthy, I was 120 pounds of fucking drug-riddled, drunken disaster that couldn't stop shaking, and all I cared about was my next fix. I was selfish, self-centered, and I did whatever I could. And now I try to live my life trying to do the opposite, trying to do whatever I can for anyone else around me.
So I get a feeling like it's like a real God moment. Like I'll give an example. The other day, I was going home and I pulled into the gas station. I see this lady pull in. She's got an entire car full of kids. And something was like, pay for her gas. Like you feel it like talk to you. I've had it a million times. So I go over, I'm like, hey, can I pay for your gas? She's like, I'm good. I was like, just let me pay for it. You know, it's a me thing.
Yeah.
Gas pumps are down.
Oh.
I put my debit card in, it's like, you know, see attendant. I'm like, hang on, let me go in here and I got to prepay. She's like, sorry, our gas pumps are down. I was like, all right, what's next? ATM machine's right there. She's like, the reason they're down is because the internet's down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't like override this feeling.
Yeah.
So I go back out and I'm like, what's your Venmo? How much does it cost to fill your car up?
Yeah.
I could not shake the feeling.
Yeah.
So for me to question it is me to question that feeling. There was no way I could get away from that feeling. So for me to question, like, is God real? Is there anything to question? It don't make sense to me. I was at the shoe store at Journeys. This old lady was buying her kids something for Christmas. And she's like, these are the real Uggs or whatever. But they have these right here that are a lot cheaper. And the grandma was like, I'll just get her these right here. They look the same. And the girl's like, yeah, they're pretty much the same shoe. Not me. I pull out I had a $100 bill that I usually keep in my wallet.
Yeah.
I said, here, get her
the
the real ones. You know,
Yeah.
she'll thank you for them.
Yeah.
The lady could not believe, neither one of them, the worker or the lady, could not believe
Yeah.
that I just came out. But when I get that feeling,
We got a lot of making up to do.
yeah, when I get that feeling, I'm
Gotta
like, I have to do it
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And so the other day, quick story, I'm leaving the meeting the other day, and my daughter is with her friend. She's 13, teenager, whatever. And she's like, can you pick us up Taco Bell on the way home? It's 9-something at night. I'm tired. I've had a long day. I want to go home. But to be honest, and I told Bailey, I was talking to Bailey on the way, I was like, yeah, I'm going by Taco Bell for the night to bring. She goes, why? And I go, because I can't find any good reason not to. And that's kind of like, I've become so much more of a yes person in my life. Like, he asked me to do this. Did I really want to do this? No, I'm extremely grateful I did it now. It feels
How
great.
you sounded an hour ago, like,
Yeah,
bro.
right. Because when I'm a yes person in life, everything fucking goes better. And that's God. God made me a yes person because I am born a no person.
For sure.
And God made me a yes person.